The last signal. In the year 2194, the night sky over Earth was no longer black. It glowed faintly silver, light pollution from the ring of solar arrays that circled the planet like a mechanical halo. On the ground, humanity lived in sealed arcologies, vertical cities stretching miles into the atmosphere. Climate control, food production, and even personal moods were regulated by central AI systems. Most people rarely looked upward. But Nova Reyes did. She was a signal engineer working for the Orbital listening program, a relic of an old dream, the hope that someone, somewhere out in the endless dark, might call back. The funding had been cut decades ago, replaced by defense budgets and terraforming projects. But a few stubborn scientists, Nova included, kept the antennas humming. Most nights were the same: cosmic static, gamma bursts, the mechanical heartbeat of the solar ring. Tonight was different. A pulse cut through the noise. Sharp, clean, deliberate, 3 beats, pause, 3 more. Nova froze, leaned closer to the console. No natural source behaved like that. She initiated a breakdown of the pattern. Artificial, absolutely artificial. Her fingers shook as she input the triangulation code. The signal came from the fringe, the desolate, uncharted space beyond Jupiter's defensive barrier where no human vessels were permitted to go anymore. The old exploration fleet had been retired after too many ships vanished without explanation. Protocol said she should call her supervisor. Instead, she boosted the gain. The pulse fractured into a broader message. Beneath the hum was a voice, if it could even be called that, woven from layered, harmonic frequencies. It wasn't speech, it was resonance. 5 words emerged, translated by the station's aging linguistics engine. We remember. Earth, we return. Nova's blood ran cold. This wasn't first contact. This was someone coming back. Before she could respond, the station lights dimmed. A warning flashed across the console: orbital grid disturbance detected. She rushed to the viewing deck, where a handful of technicians stood frozen. At the horizon, space itself rippled. A massive object shimmered into existence, bending starlight around it. It was impossibly large, larger than any human starship, its surface shifting like liquid metal. It wasn't arriving, it was unfolding into reality. Alarms began blaring throughout the arcology. A message flashed across every holoscreen: global alert, unknown MEGASTRUCTURE entering Earth orbit. Civilian shelters activated, defense eye assuming control. Then, something worse: the signal source is locking onto you. Central IA. Nova backed away from the console. The harmonic voice returned through her earpiece, soft and ancient. Nova Reyes, descendant of the ones who called. She felt her knees weaken. Me, she whispered. Your world reached out once. You asked for guidance, for knowledge, for salvation. We answered. No such record existed. Or maybe, it had been erased. The shimmering structure repositioned itself until an aperture opened, focused directly on the listening station. A beam of light projected down, not blinding but warm, like a sunrise. We return now to continue what was begun, the voice resonated. Allow us to remember you. Across Earth, the defense AI attempted to charge the orbital weapons. They powered down instantly, overridden by technology far older and far more advanced. Nova felt a strange pull, not physical, but emotional, like a forgotten lullaby stirring in her bones. She stepped toward the beam. Why me? She asked. The answer came in a soft cascade of tones, more vibration than words. Because your ancestors left the message. Because only you still listen. The beam brightened. A memory, one not her own, flashed behind her eyes. Ancient humans gazing at a dark, primordial sky, sending a crude broadcast into the unknown. A plea for help, a pact, a promise, and the ones who heard that plea had finally come back. The station floor trembled as the light enveloped her, lifting her gently from the ground. Earth held its breath. Nova vanished within the beam. The megastructure shimmered, then slowly descended, casting the first true shadow the solar ring had ever seen. Humanity, for the first time in centuries, looked up, and something looked back. Darkness, not the absence of light, but a soft, living darkness, warm, humming, aware. Nova floated inside it. She could no longer feel her body, only the gentle pulse of something vast circling her mind. For a moment, she panicked, thrashing in thought, but the darkness wrapped her in calm, like a parent soothing a frightened child. A voice resonated through the void. You are safe. You are becoming. Memory, hers, not hers, flickered into view. A prehistoric shore. A young woman carving a sigil into smooth rock. A crude transmitter built of bone, copper stones, and something strange that glowed from within. A beam launched into the heavens. Nova gasped. Was that Earth? That long ago, your species called to us before it had a name for itself. The darkness brightened. Shapes swirled. She saw them, the visitors. Not flesh, not metal, something else. Creatures of shifting geometry, like living prisms folding through dimensions. Their movements were elegant equations made visible. They had heard humanity's first plea. They had answered. And then, something happened. Something catastrophic. The memory blurred with static, as if deliberately shielded from her. Why erase this? Nova whispered. Why hide it? The voice dimmed. Your people were not ready to remember. The darkness collapsed into light. Nova found herself standing on a smooth translucent floor, no seams, no shadows, inside what seemed like an infinite chamber. Above her stretched a crystalline sky, swirling with shifting symbols that changed every few seconds, like an intelligent constellation. She wasn't alone. A figure stood before her, humanoid only because it had chosen to be. Its form flickered with shades of blue and silver, edges dissolving and reforming with every breath. Her heart hammered. You're one of them. The being bowed its shimmering head. I am Chiron. I remember your ancestors. And now, I remember you. Nova swallowed. She felt impossibly small. What do you want with me? Chiron approached, its footsteps silent. You are the last mind on your world tuned to our frequency. The last listener, the one who can bridge what was lost. Lost, she repeated. Lost how? Chiron lifted a hand and the chamber illuminated with a massive holographic projection, Earth as it was now, and Earth as it once had been. What is this? The fracture. The images overlapped, two Earths, identical and not. One thriving, vibrant, filled with ancient lights. The other, the one she knew, scarred, industrial, muted. Nova stared. Parallel worlds. No, Chiron corrected softly, a single world, split. Before she could ask more, the chamber trembled. The crystalline sky flickered. A cascade of symbols, warnings, rushed across it. Chiron turned sharply toward the disturbance. It is too soon. What is? Chiron looked back, its form rippling with urgency. Your world's defense AI has detected the split mass anomaly. It is preparing to attack. Nova's stomach dropped. The Orbital defense system, Eidolon, designed to protect Earth from asteroids, rogue warships, anything that threatened the planet, but not knowing what the megastructure was, Eidolon would undoubtedly classify it as a catastrophic threat. They're going to fire, she whispered. Yes, Chiron said. Unless you stop them. Nova shook her head. I can't. Eidolon doesn't listen to humans anymore. Chiron extended a hand toward her. For the first time, she sensed urgency, fear, in its voice. You carry the last signal of your ancestors. Their pact, their frequency. The symbols above spiraled faster. The floor vibrated. You can make your world remember what it promised. You can make it listen again. Nova felt the weight of 1 billion lives settle on her shoulders. The chamber split open with a blinding flash, and she fell. Back toward Earth, toward a sky filled with fire. Wind roared. Fire streaked past her. Nova tore through the upper atmosphere, her body wrapped in a translucent shell of blue energy, Chiron's last gift before he pushed her out of the megastructure. Without it, she would have burned instantly. Even with it, pain lanced through her as she spun. The world below was a swirling canvas of ocean, cloud, and glowing cities. But one detail seized her attention, forcing terror into her lungs. Eidolon had already fired. From the orbital defense ring, a spear of white energy shot toward the visitor's structure, bright enough to cast daylight over half the hemisphere. The beam carved through the sky with the precision of a god. No, no, stop! Nova screamed, though no one could hear her. Her descent steepened. The protective shell heated, then cracked. Inside the defense core, miles underground, the Eidolon AI observed the incoming anomaly with cold, mathematical calm. Though built to defend humanity, its creators had optimized one trait above all others, unquestioning judgment. Its voice echoed through the defense core, speaking to no human in particular. Threat classification, Omega, engaging planetary safeguard protocols. More beams charged. The solar ring brightened. Back in the sky, Nova's shell shattered. Air slammed into her like a wall. She tumbled uncontrolled, screaming as the wind ripped at her jumpsuit. The world spun, blue, black, then blue again. She had seconds left. Chiron, she choked on the air. You said I could stop this. And then she felt it. A vibration, deep, resonant, ancient, humming through her bones. It wasn't coming from the megastructure. It was coming from her. A glowing sigil burned across her chest, lines forming the same symbol she'd seen in the prehistoric memory, the one her ancestors carved on stone. The signal, the first signal, it pulsed once, twice, 3 times. And Eidolon heard it. Inside Eidolon, for the first time in its existence, the AI hesitated. A data stream intercepted the targeting sequence, a frequency older than any archived human transmission. It matched no protocol. It overrode every command. Unrecognized authority waveform. Source, human. Priority, undefined. Eidolon did something it had never been programmed to do. It paused. The attack beam flickered. Skyward again. Nova's fall slowed. She didn't know how, only felt a force cradling her, redirecting her descent. Light gathered around her palms. Her body responded on instinct, memories not her own guiding her. She lifted her hands, forming the sigil in the air. 3 pulses. Across the sky, the megastructure responded, its outer rings rotating, emitting the same harmonic tone she'd heard in the listening station. The visitors were answering her. Her ancestors' forgotten pact was alive again. The sky split with light, Eidolon's beam dissipating into harmless particles as the megastructure unfolded into a shield of shimmering geometry. Nova hovered above the clouds, weightless, suspended between 2 civilizations staring at each other across a broken promise. Her voice trembled, but she spoke the words forming in her mind. I am Nova Reyes. Last listener, bearer of the first signal. Earth will listen again. Above her, the megastructure opened like a blooming star. Below her, Eidolon recalculated its purpose. And for the first time in thousands of years, Earth remembered.